Hello, and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On the show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, researchers, professors, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live, study, and work at Lund University, a world top 100 university. My name is Fabio, and I come from Napoli, Italy. I've been studying here in Lund for 4 years, done my bachelor's, and I'm currently a master's student in European Affairs. Join us as we dive into the exciting world of Formula Student, where innovation meets engineering excellence. Meet the Formula Student team of Lund University, a group of talented engineering students dedicated to designing, building, and racing top-class cars. Since 2006, the team has competed against universities worldwide with remarkable achievements like placing second in Formula Student Netherlands and 8th in Germany. We'll take you behind the scenes, from the recruitment process to the intense design and manufacturing phases, and of course, the thrilling competition days. Stay tuned as we explore what it takes to compete at the highest level in this fast-paced motorsport. Today, our guests are Leonid and Mattis. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I guess I can introduce myself as well. So I'm Leonid. I'm on my 5th and last year of the Engineering and Mathematics program at LTH, the Faculty of Engineering, specializing in systems, signals, and controls.
Yeah, I'm Mattis. I'm studying my 3rd year in mechanical engineering, and I'm a technical leader for the team this year, LFS 25.
Well, thank you for being here, guys. And can you tell us a bit about Lund Formula Student, what it is for all our listeners who are not familiar with the concept? I've heard it's also in other countries, right?
That's right. So Lund Formula Student is the Lund University racing team for the Formula Student competition. And the Formula Student competition is a worldwide competition. It's actually the biggest competition in the world for engineering students, with more than 900 universities worldwide. We're part of that competition, and we compete mostly in Europe with our team. And each year we build a new racing car to compete with.
Yeah, correct. And there's also, I can mention that there are different factions of Formula Students. So the US, for example, has its own, and they have their own set of rules. We have our own set of rules. Our rules, I would say, are a little stricter than in the rest of the world. So it's a little bit more restricting and challenging, but it also makes more of a realistic experience, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did this project start?
Well, as you said in the beginning, it was at 2006. The Faculty of Engineering decided they wanted the students to have more hands-on experience after they finished their masters. So they decided to start this racing team to get the engineering students to give them a bit more experience of project-based work and design. Okay,
but at the end of the day, I'm a social science student, actually, so I'm not really that familiar with engineering. It sounds like a complete other world, but could I join as well?
Yeah, that's correct. We have, I don't know, we've counted sometime how many programs we have. I think we have almost all faculties in our team represented. So we have at least one person who does studies law, exactly. And then we have one person who studies strategic communication. So we have a very diverse group, and that's because the team is not only about building the car itself, it's also about logistics, different events, corporate relations, getting sponsors, handling money, all of that stuff. It's very similar to a kind of a real F1 team, you would say, or a company. So you kind of need all the parts.
Yeah, exactly. We have got quite a few economics students, for example, and talking about the engineering faculty, most of the programs there are represented in some way, because it's not only about the building, it's about the building of the car, it's about sustainability and the whole process around it too.
Okay, that's really exciting to hear that it's almost like a Lund University Formula One miniature experience. And it's so great to have the opportunity to do this here at Lund University. And I wanted to ask, how does the year start for you? I've heard how you build a new car every year. Is it right?
That's right. So we have a bit of an onboarding process starting around the summer. And then the year starts for real in September, you could say, with a design phase, as we call it, where the car, we start designing the car So there's no manufacturing going on at that point. It's only like drawings, design, I guess for you, since you're in the driverless team, a lot of programming.
Yeah. So that's actually another component. We might get into that as well. So it's actually also, there's part of the competition. It's like its own little cup, like a driverless cup, where you make a self-driving car instead. So it's where you have that the car is both manually drivable and it's also driverless, so it can drive itself. So you put some additional parts in there and a computer and some sensors, and then it should be able to drive itself around the track. So for us, kind of the process is a little different. We don't really design much. We just kind of try and solve the problems of the previous year and try to make it better. So yeah, we're kind of different in that way.
So is the same car then is going to be used in driverless mode?
Exactly. So it's, you just press a button and it should go, and you're not allowed to take off or put on any additional parts. So it makes it more challenging, but it's also, of course, more fun.
Wow, that is really fascinating. And how does it change from year to year? You've said how, you need to kind of improve from last year. So how does this process work?
That's a good question. I'd say it depends really, because some years are more of an evolution. You have the same basic concept, but you try to evolve it to just optimize all the parts slightly further. But then some years are like a bigger step change. So maybe you change the basic concept of the car completely. Like for next year, we're going to incorporate a completely new drivetrain setup using 4 motors, one on each wheel instead of one, as we had now the previous years. And then, with that comes a lot of other changes architecturally for the car.
Yeah, so it's kind of in steps. You have your basic concept, you improve on it, and then it's basically you reach the maximum potential of your concept, and then you have to reevaluate. So that's actually what we're doing right now for next year, changing to these so-called hub motors. So they're inside the hubs of the wheels, and all the best teams are doing that. So it's a necessary step to take, and it's going to be really challenging, but it's definitely worth it.
Wow, this is really fascinating. And where does the process start of creating the car? Is it more like comes from last year? Do you have new ideas every year?
I mean, mostly if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's how we say, right? So with many things, it's an extremely challenging competition, right? So like, it's not really about the fastest car for most teams. It's about getting to the finish line, basically. So many of the things we take the concepts from last year, and then we just try to change a few key concepts. We kind of set up the main goals of the team of the year, and then we focus on those, and then just keep the rest the same mostly. Yeah.
Exactly. So you usually start from last year's car, as you said, and try to gather as much information about that as possible, what worked, what didn't work, and where can we improve. And then you just sort of take it from there, seeing what areas have the lowest hanging fruit, starting with those, and then I guess moving on with implementing the changes that become more difficult.
Okay, and you spoke about that the rules change and there is also a competition, but how does this work? How do you fit into the global Formula Student? Do you kind of need to receive those rules that the Formula Student gives you? So you have, for example, some rules on how the car should be built, which parts it should have, which part it shouldn't.
Yeah, there's it's a public document that gets published each fall. I don't know how long it is, like 200 pages or something. It's like pretty big, very detailed. Usually a lot of teams come with questions to Formula Student Germany, who are like the main Formula Student, the governing body in Europe. So, and then they kind of correct the rules a little bit with clarifications and other things. And then, we just have to follow them. And the way it's enforced is that you send a bunch of documents now in the spring, which is what we're doing right now, and then they get evaluated. And if we pass all those checks, we can actually go to the competition. And then you can talk about the next step, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So as you said, Leonid, there are lots of documents that need to be checked by the judges and returned. And then when you actually make it to competition, you have to go through scrutineering, which is where judges do really rigorous checks on the car to make sure that every single rule has been followed. So these checks can take multiple days for the judges to go through everything. And unless you pass every single one, you can't compete with your car. So they're really, really strict. And I would say just making it through the scrutineering is an achievement in itself.
Okay, and so how does the competition work? I've heard it's not the fastest car who wins. How does that work instead?
Exactly. So that's a good point. It's actually a design competition. It's not only about car performance, but also following engineering practices, having a good methodology in designing a car. There's an event called the business plan presentation, where the business team usually, where they have a chance to go through sort of a Shark Tank style competition to present a business pitch, and they get judged for that. And all of these different events get scored, and then that score goes towards the total of the car. So there are dynamic events, as they're called, where the car actually does sort of on-track racing, and the static events where the car is and the team are judged on their sort of engineering skill and business skill.
Yeah, and those two parts weigh almost the same. So like, even if you don't drive, if you score really well on your design, you can still rank pretty high. So
okay,
it's
how does Lund Student Formula fared in the last couple of years in the last competitions?
So I was part of the 23 team last time, and it actually went really, really well. We went to Formula Student Netherlands again, and we got 2 trophies. We came second in endurance, which is the hardest event. It's 22 kilometers on the track, and yeah,
well, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. You just drive, and there's even a driver change in the middle because you get exhausted. And we were one of the 3 or 2 teams that got to finish without getting disqualified. Because if one little part falls off your car while you're driving, you're disqualified. So it's not easy to get to the finish line and get points. And then the second trophy we got was for efficiency. So that's also something they calculate, like how much energy did you consume while driving. So yeah, and then last year we were a little unfortunate, right?
Yeah, last year during the same endurance that you just talked about, during the Formula Student Netherlands event, we actually got to within 50 meters of the finish before the battery ran out. So yeah, that was really unfortunate because we were going to place pretty highly, but yeah, no luck that time. But anyway, we actually got a podium in the business plan presentation event at the same competition. So that sort of made up for it in a way, I guess.
Okay, congrats. Yeah, that's also still a big achievement. And do you have any upcoming competitions this year?
So this year, yeah, we're going to the same competitions as last year. We're going to Netherlands and Formula Student Czech too.
Yeah, and Formula Student Netherlands is only manual driving, so just manual. There's no driverless cup, but Czech has the driverless cup, so that's what our idea kind of is, to do the regular driving on the Netherlands competition, and then we go to Czech to just do driverless. And it's a little bit later as well, so we have a little bit more time to fully test the system. Yeah.
Well, I wish you good luck on that. And is it in the summer then? So you kind of design, you practice throughout the academic year, one could say, and then in the summer you go and compete?
Yeah, correct. So Formula Student Netherlands is like start of July?
Yeah, middle of July, exactly.
Middle of July, yeah. And then Czech is in beginning of August. So exactly. So it's during the summer.
Okay. And so it sounds also kind of a lot of work, one could say, to have your studies on the side of creating a whole new car. How do you manage that in your lives?
Well, that's a good question. As you say, it is a lot of work. I don't know, you spend seemingly infinite amount of hours on the project. But I guess the way I see it is that you have this 1 or a few years that you maybe have to give up some other things in your life, or at least put them to a side. But you do it in order to become really, really good at something else. So this, it's about, I guess, prioritizing some things in your life to make this work. But I'd say it's definitely worth it because you get so much out of this project. The more you give, the more you get, I think. Yeah, what do you say then?
Yeah, for me, it's almost second nature. I mean, this is my 3rd year doing this. First year was pretty hard. I mean, you have a full-time study and then you have 20 hours a week doing doing Formula Student. And I mean, I just gotten used to it. Now for me, it's a little easier because I actually made sure to have my master thesis kind of aligned with the driverless Formula Student thing. So I'm building a little RC car for testing and then evaluating some algorithms on that. So I got to get two birds with one stone. So I get to save a little bit of time on that, spend full time, at least this semester. But usually you just have to kind of be very careful with your time, or very optimized, as we like to say, with your time.
But I imagine this also kind of helps you afterwards. You kind of build practical experiences. I'm sure you also meet a lot of friends and community.
Yeah, definitely so. I'd say it's a really good thing to have on your resume. Afterwards, you also get a lot of, as you say, contacts with other people in your that are your peers, but also company contacts. You get a lot of, since we have quite a few sponsors for the project, you also had the opportunity to make contact with those a lot of the time, and they can of course offer you job opportunities after your studies and such.
Yeah, a lot of things. I mean, we have a lot of sponsor events where they just have exclusive events with us. They go and mingle, they review our resumes, whereas they just invite us to their office, show kind of the cool stuff they do. And they offer us internships and jobs and master thesis. So there's a lot of good coming from that. And we have quite a few big companies like Axis that make the surveillance cameras. We have Warner, which makes torque vectoring systems for cars.
Okay.
Alfa Laval, heat exchangers.
Yeah, a lot of big companies from there, are sourcing us. So.
There's a big connection with the business and the professional world afterwards. So actually, I've heard part of that happens also here around Lund, in Lundbyhed, where we have our, actually one of the Lund University faculties is there. They have a big airfield where there is the flying faculty, one could call it. I'm not really sure about the name. But is that also where you have one of these events where you test your car and you meet with companies, I've heard?
Yeah, so that's the Nordic test event, which we organize. Lund Formula Student organizes that, and it's basically kind of like a mock-up competition for a lot of Nordic teams to come and practice. So we have people from Denmark and Norway. But we have a few teams, Swedish teams as well, of course, that come. And then we have a lot of our sponsors come there as well, have their little stands. And then we just kind of try to emulate the whole competition spirit, scrutineering, driving, other kind of things,
Yeah, and this year is really exciting for the Nordic test events. NT, as we usually call it, it's actually expanding quite a lot. So there's not only going to be cars, but there are student-built aeroplanes coming too.
Oh, wow.
Like remote control aeroplanes. Because that's it's kind of a competition that's similar to Formula Student, but a few other universities in Sweden have the remote control aeroplane competition. So some of those will be turning up as well. And it's also in conjunction with a lot of other Swedish motorsports events at the same venue at the same time at Ljungbyhed. So this year is hopefully going to be the best or the biggest Nordic test event so far.
Yeah, it's going to be STCC, which is what would you call it?
Yeah, Swedish Touring Car Champion.
Yeah. They have, because they've had actual track, they have a big track. And then they're going to have a fly show, I think.
Yeah,
with some
that's right.
Aircraft. Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
A lot of exciting events all at once. It's really cool. And is that where you test your car then before the competition?
I mean, it's our main way of practicing for the competition. I mean, we try to test as much as possible, so it's not the only place where we test it, but that's when we aim to make it really work for real.
Yeah, as you said, we try to get a few 100 kilometers of testing before the actual competition start. To dial out all the small, problems you have with the car in the beginning, and also try to fine tune the performance. And Nordic Test Event is a good opportunity for that. But as you said, we do regular testing at go-kart tracks and airfields and similar places.
And for anyone who's in the area in Skåne, it's a event that's open to the public. So if you just Google Nordic Test Event, hopefully their website should come up, and then you can just register and come. It's free, I think.
Yeah, 25th to the 29th of June.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming up right now, actually. Yeah. If you're in the area, then I personally, I might come. It sounds super interesting and super fun. But I think now I have a question that many of our listeners are wondering about. How do you join Lund Student Formula?
So it's you basically apply either through our website or there's a form where you apply, and then you just come to the interview. We give you a little tour of our office in the mechanical engineering house, then there's just an interview, and if we feel like you fit in, and most people do, who are excited, then you're on the team basically for next year.
Yeah.
And this happens in the autumn semester, right?
No, that happens in the spring. So actually, right now applications are open. So I think it closes on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, but I think there will be a secondary application period later in the spring. So if you're interested, you can go to the website, lundformulastudent.se, and that's where you apply.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyone really, I highly recommend them for everyone who's studying engineering, but also if you're not studying engineering and you are you're interested in the world of racing. I think this is a really, really cool opportunity here. And can you tell us a bit about your most fun memory about Lund Formula Student? Maybe a competition, a special moment, a special achievement you've had?
I have a good one, I think. I don't know if it's that fun, but it was definitely pretty unusual experience. So it was in Formula Student Netherlands in 2023 when we competed. It was like super hot outside. It was like 35 Celsius. And then suddenly the temperature dropped to like 15 in a few minutes.
Oh, wow.
And that was followed by a huge windstorm, and it just blew all the tents of the camp away.
Oh, no.
People were like holding on and just trying to like hold on to their stuff. And I mean, it was crazy chaotic, but it was over in 10 minutes. So I don't know if that's a fun experience, but it was very interesting. It's a very unique experience for sure.
Yeah, I have to say probably my stand-up memory is just when you finally get to see the car drive, because you have a long design period, you have a long manufacturing period where you really build the car with your own hands, and then when you finally get to see it all come together and drive for the first time, it's almost euphoric. You can't describe what it's like when you actually see work come together like that. So I think for me, that's definitely a standout memory.
Oh, and I think I've seen some unveiling of your car, I think, a couple of years ago. And anyone who's listening now can check also their Instagram. They have some very high quality, very nice videos of their car. And you really can feel that excitement at the end of the year when you unveil the car, and you've done such a hard work throughout the year, and there it is now. You can see it, you can drive it even. Do you get to drive it even if you're not drivers?
Yeah, so at the end of the year, after the competitions, we usually have like an internal event where everyone in the team, all the members, get to have a go, get to drive the car around the go-kart track, and that's usually really appreciated by the members.
Yeah. Anyone who's not on the team and just want to get a feel for how the car drives, starting from, I think, last year, right? We started doing this show run outside the Faculty of Engineering campus. So like on the campus, we just put a few fences up. We take our cars and we just do a bunch of donuts.
Wow.
Right on campus. So anyone can come and watch the car rip its tire to shreds. Yeah.
I am going to be there. Sign me up, really.
Yeah. So it's usually in the fall, and it's kind of to get people excited about the project and hopefully apply.
And so do you have any advice for anyone who is coming to Lund in the coming semesters and would like to join?
Yeah, I mean, even though the application period is right now, I'd say if you're interested in joining the team, just go on our website, find our email address and reach out to us, because really it's not that... the good thing about it being a sort of student program is that it's not that strict, you could say. So if you're really excited about being the team, there might be an opportunity for you. So even though you're moving to Lund not at maybe the right time for the application period, you can still join the team if you're interested. So if you want to know more, just go to the website and reach out to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's as long as you're excited. I mean, there's nothing for us to lose. We don't pay any salaries or anything. So it's only about people having to fulfill their interests. So just join us anytime, basically.
Yeah, and you'll get a nice community and you'll get some experience and some fun times. And I think it's going to really prepare you, from what I've heard, really prepare you for the future, also work opportunities that you'll get after studies. So thank you so much for today. It was really nice to meet you, and really good luck with the coming competitions.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. And you can connect with our amazing student ambassadors on Unibody. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.